Welcome to Sunday Afternoon Porch Sitting, where laid-back conversations come to life. I'm Will.
And I'm Ryan, and we're inviting you to join us as we unwind and explore the essence of life in each episode. Well, Will, this is the second week in a row that I've won the rock, paper, scissors before we get going.
I haven't been practicing. I think it's catching up.
It is.
I need to start practicing more.
Well, I think it might be an old age thing.
Yeah.
You might be getting
Tori
dementia. Well, hey, Tori, you're live on our podcast. Hold on. Can you hear me, Tori?
What podcast?
Sunday Afternoon Porch Sitting. So you're actually connected to us live. We were getting ready to call Angel, and you're in. So, Will, this is my cousin Tori. You want to say hi?
Hey, Tori.
Hello.
So yeah,
now I can watch what I say.
Yeah, we watch some of the things that we say. So it's Sunday Afternoon Porch Sitting, and so basically we are just kind of talking like we're on the back porch on a Sunday afternoon. So
we are on the back porch.
We
We're not
are
live,
on the back
right?
porch. We're not in the living room right now. So what are you doing, Tori?
Making dinner. Just got done working a little bit ago, and now I'm making dinner.
I love it. That's awesome. Hey, Will, can you guess what part of the country Tori's from by hearing her talk?
I need more.
Okay, say a little bit more. What are you cooking? Just explain it meticulously.
I am cooking salmon in the air fryer and rice in the microwave.
Well, what kind of vibes are you getting here?
I don't know. I'm terrible with accents.
Well, she's obviously not from Texas. She's been to Texas multiple
I know.
times.
I can tell not from Texas. Yeah.
I'll be in Texas in 2 weeks in Houston again.
You haven't let me know. I'm kind of heartbroken.
I'm going for a sales meeting this time, and I go to Houston often, but I'm usually there and out.
Yeah. Well, I can be there
I need
now.
to plan a weekend. I need to plan a weekend to just stay, actually.
And chill. No doubt. Now, there's some cool things we could do down there.
All right. Give me a hint. North or south of the Mason-Dixon?
North.
North. Okay. That's what I was going for. But
I'll say this. They basically live in Canada.
okay. I was going to say it sounds very northern.
It's like my cousins, like Ryan, Angel, and them have called me, my family, like Yankees my whole life.
I'm just a complete guess. I have no clue. It doesn't sound Minnesota.
No, it's not Minnesota.
To me.
Nope. It's not. I'll give you one hint. We hate the University of Michigan.
Okay. I would have never guessed Ohio.
Okay.
Would have never guessed.
He got it. Well, that's awesome. Well, Will, I actually called Tori because, this past year I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And so she's had it for a while. So she's my crony.
Your crony?
We're cronies together.
Cronies.
So anyway, I had some questions about some doctors, but I guess I'll just wait until we get off the podcast.
No, go ahead and discuss it right now. It's fine. Don't worry. I'm really good at editing things out, remember?
I know you are.
Definitely don't leave anything in.
Yeah, Tori, so I'll go ahead and ask you a couple of questions here. So I joined a Reddit group for Crohn's disease. Do you follow that one?
Absolutely not. Unless you want me to think that I'm dying of cancer tomorrow. No way.
Well, I certainly would hope not. But I was sitting there and I found out some interesting, information on that. I've got to send that phone call to voicemail. I don't know who that is calling. So anyway, when I was looking on there, do you ever feel like that? Do you have a primary care doctor that is related to Crohn's? Like they know all about it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've had since I've been 4, so I'm 31 now. So I've had my pediatric from 4 to maybe the one that diagnosed me, I had him till I was probably 7, but then he moved out of the state. So then from 7 to literally 22, 23 until they forced me out of pediatrics, I had the same doctor. And now from adulthood, I've had the same doctor specifically for Crohn's. I don't go to my
gastro,
my regular care doctor. No, yeah, I go to a gastro specialist.
Okay. So, cause here's my thing, I got Crohn's.
Speaking of, did you take your medicine?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
I took my medicine. So do you have the pancreatic insufficiency where you have to take digestive enzymes?
No.
Okay. So I got diagnosed with chronic pancreatitis too. Both inflammatory processes, right? So anyway, the when I was on this group that I'm on, there's a lot of people that have Crohn's disease that's got pancreatic insufficiency for like digestive enzyme issues. And I didn't realize that. And I never thought to ask you about it. So I wanted to ask you about that for one. And then my other thing is like, I don't know. That
on a podcast, by the way.
On a podcast.
Everybody listens to.
And I love my doctor. Don't get me wrong. Both of my doctors, my primary care and my gastro, are great. But neither one of them, I don't think they've got a lot of like knowledge about Crohn's.
I would literally ditch them as soon as you possibly can until you find somebody that is interested and listens to you, because you're just going to waste your time and you're going to have to re-find a doctor every time you don't like one.
Yeah.
And you got to find somebody, because my friend from high school, she actually just got diagnosed. She just had a baby, maybe he's probably 2 now.
Yeah.
Right after she had the baby, she actually got diagnosed with Crohn's. But it's weird because for women, if you have like bowel issues, that after having a kid, it actually could throw you into remission for a long time. But
yeah.
So she was opposite. And she started out with her primary care because she was having stomach issues. They had no clue. And then she went to like an OBGYN.
Yeah.
And that's when she reached out to me. I was like, they have absolutely actually nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
And so then she actually now goes to my doctor.
Wow.
And she likes him. He's pretty straightforward and to the point. And that's his everyday in and out. He specializes in stomach issues, Crohn's,
yeah,
IBS, things like that.
I think you would understand this, like with what I'm fixing to say, like frequent urgency. That's a thing. Oh
God, my middle name.
Terrible. Like, and it's been really, really, really bad. But, the other thing that I have is just an overwhelming amount of fatigue, especially when I was in that flare up last year. All I wanted to do when I got home or on the weekends is just sit in the couch or on the chair all day and just not do anything.
Yeah.
Cover up.
Me. I mean, it subsides when you're out of your flare a little bit, but I mean, my whole life I'm always tired. I mean, obviously when you're in a flare, it's even worse, but like our bodies are constantly fighting, like our immune system and stuff is constantly fighting our body daily. So by the end of the day, it's exhausted.
Yeah. Well, and that's tough. And then, so the other thing too is, do you have any like back or joint pain?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't, my back, it hurts all the time. I complain about it all the time. And growing up, I don't know why this always stuck with me, but I can never take like vitamins like doctors want me to take, or like a woman's multivitamin. Like I can't take it because it screws my stomach up. And I remember them always telling me, and I could never drink milk. Like I can have cheese, but like if I had a bowl of cereal and it wasn't skim milk, like it was whole milk or 2%, like it would tear my stomach up.
You better be by a bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. And
so if you never got to experience Flintstone multivitamins?
Never.
Oh,
no.
Man.
Nope.
She might have experienced them, but it wasn't a good experience.
It wasn't a pleasant one. So I remember them, and the reason why is because you get real bad joint pain and things like that. So my doctor, my whole life, like I've just always remembered them. The very first question when I was visit them, they'd always ask me, "Are you experiencing any joint pain?" And every single time, I mean, as a kid, not as much, but now, like my knees, and I mean, it's not like I'm like super active. I should be, but I'm not. But like just recently, we went and played golf over the weekend, and like my knees, I can just hear like rattling in them. Yeah. And my back constantly hurts. Every time it's in the winter, or not even in the winter, it's just worse in the winter. Like if I'm going up or down a flight of stairs, it's my joints are like one will give out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't fall, but I have to grab onto something, and my wrists. Yeah.
Mine has been my right ankle and then my upper back. But, I started dealing with my upper back stuff. It's like, stenosis is what it is. It's a narrowing of that epidural space. And I went and had an injection yesterday. My doctor that I had for that, I asked him, I said, "Hey, do you think this is a result of like my recent like Crohn's diagnosis?" Because like I was put on IBS medicines back when I was in high school. And that's what my primary care doctor thought the issue was. And then, I started getting this extreme leg, like dermatitis rash, and they say it's contact dermatitis. And I started getting that back about 8 years ago. And it has grown on my right leg and encompassed it. And so then, I started having the back problems, and then, started having the gallbladder issue, with the inflammation. I didn't even have gallstones. They removed my gallbladder because they said it was, scar tissue from inflammation.
It's taking up space.
Yeah. And so anyway, when I go back and finally they made this like Crohn's diagnosis, like I look back on all of it, and thanks to my Reddit support group, I'm reading all this stuff, and it's like, wow.
It all corresponds with it. And like Craig will he'll make fun of me, but like I could be sitting here, and I always joke I get the worst it's not like restless legs, but I always tell him, I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting growing pains. And he's like, shut the hell up, Tori, you're 31. You're not growing anymore. But it feels like growing pains like when you were in your teen years. Like it feels,
yeah.
And it's just an annoying pain. But I mean, I will say, I actually just went to the doctor today, not my Crohn's doctor. I went to my primary doctor, and I was just asking her questions, and I asked her about back pain, honestly.
Yeah.
And just asking her like what I can do, because I work from home, so I'm like always slouched over. So she was telling me like what to get, like for like I don't know, like a brace or something I can get on Amazon or something.
Yeah.
And I was also asking her because I started taking, and I've taken them in the past, but I started taking it's not Ozempic, it's a version of a semaglutide.
Yeah.
And anytime I've ever taken any type of semaglutide, weight loss pill, anything like that that's prescribed by a doctor, my gut is so good.
Yeah.
And like I have less symptoms. And she was just saying today that she's noticed people have been saying that, and she's been seeing studies where it's helping other things besides like if you have diabetes and things like that. So I mean, there's just what medicine are you currently on though?
That makes sense with what you were saying though, kind of about the diabetic stuff, because that involves the pancreas, And so I'm not on anything that you've been on, by any means. You probably were on this in the beginning, but it's mesalamine is what I'm taking right now. And
you took Lialda at one point? Did you take that?
No, I haven't. Well, no, that's what I think. Mesalamine is what Lialda is, I believe.
Okay, that might be the different name for it.
Yeah, it's just the generic. I think is mesalamine. But anyway, I'm taking that. I'm still taking the IBS medicine and stuff like that. And I'm taking cholesterol for it's going to sound gross, bile acid malabsorption, but he's giving me that for that. So is that for your pancreas or for your like the bile acid? I'm taking for the pancreas. I've got to take Creon, and I take 3 to 4 of those pills every time I eat to replace the enzymes. So.
I will tell you that with all of them, I don't know if it has to do, well, I know it has to do with Crohn's or in the medicines maybe I've taken over the years, but I do have, my liver gets out of whack every once in a while, and I will have
my liver levels get crazy.
Yeah. Like one time I took a medicine and I was allergic to it. It got so high I turned like yellow.
Yikes. Well, talking to Tori here, like Tori's had this like since she was 4. Like she's had it for a long time. So it's been something.
I've literally taken every medication that's on the market, and like literally from pills to shots to infusions. Right now I'm back on Entyvio infusion, so I get it every other month.
Yeah.
But I've been pretty good. And the one thing, this is what I think, actually no, I know. When I worked at Freudenberg, my job that I'm at now, when I worked in a different division, and this is going to be a little bit, I worked with this lady. I shared an office with this lady that made my life and everybody's life hell. She was just the most negative Nancy. Like I got called to HR one time. That's just how I am. And like I was like, I can't do this. Like she's making me miserable. I've never been so bad with my Crohn's. I was in a flare in the hospital, things like that. And I couldn't take it anymore, so I left the company for 9 months and went to a small business, and I hated it. So I came back, but I came back into a different division, and I love my job, love the people I work with, and I do not have any stressors. And because I had to get to the point when I worked with her, I had to go to a therapist every Thursday because this lady was dragging me down and the whole office.
Yeah.
So I got put on Zoloft and would take stuff like that. But the anxieties I've never realized I had in my life that contributes to this.
Yeah.
It's insane. And now I've been feeling so good, the last 3 years, because I have no stressors in my life. Because I used to, before, I fly so often for work, and I was so scared to fly. And I couldn't take it anymore. So I left the company for 9 months and went to a small business, and I hated it. So I came back, but I came back into a different division, and I love the people I work with, and I do not have any stressors. And because I used to, before, I fly so often for work, and I was so scared to fly. Not because the plane's going to crash. No, I'm scared I'm going to shit my pants on the plane, and I want to be closest to the bathroom. But
Well,
now
And
I
cause
think to
cause a
myself,
delay.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
exactly.
and
And I think to myself, I've never had an issue where I've even had to go to the bathroom on the plane, and I fly so much for work. So
yeah.
I like had to retrain my brain not to like worry about everything, and like so now I don't have any stressors, and
And it's amazing how, like, when you take stress out of your life, you don't have that urgency as much anymore where you just have to go. Because I don't
no,
think people realize, like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like my stomach is full from eating or like I normally have to go to the bathroom when I get stressed. It's literally my stomach drops and I feel that pain, and I better have a bathroom close by because if I don't, we're in trouble.
yeah, and I mean you can go days when you're in a flare, you go days without eating, and you eat nothing, and you're like, how do I still have stuff in me?
No doubt. Well, it was funny, Tori, because Will, the guy that's on the podcast with me, we work at a state marching contest together, and we've been friends for a long time. We went to college together. And Will was actually with me on the trip when I really started my flare.
That was such a long trip home.
Because we had to stop so much. And there was one part, we went into a Whataburger and stuff like that, and they wanted to get some breakfast. And I was like, or get some food. And, you know, I was like, man, I've got to go. Like, you need to pull over now. And so
Me and Nick ate and then went out to the truck, and you were still in the bathroom. And I think we were there for like 45 minutes. And
it's a thing.
we were like playing rock, paper, scissors, like who's going to go in to see if he's still alive?
But no, it's one of those deals where like you're clinging onto that commode for dear life. And at some point, I think you run out of solid and it's just water.
You said
Yeah.
you were laying down in the back of the truck on the way back. And it just every once in a while you would wake up and be like, we got to pull over. We got to stop it. Then don't care where it is. Just get.
Tori knows.
Yeah, literally. I mean, I've been in like I try not to put myself in scenarios, but when you're in a flare, you literally can't help it, and then you become like a recluse in your home.
Yeah.
Like if I'm in a flare, I don't leave, and it's not funny, but it is kind of funny, because in high school, I mean, I was the only kid that ever had something wrong with me. All my friends were fine and stuff like that. So that girl that got diagnosed in high school, like she was the one that always had sleepovers at her house, and I never slept over because I was scared I'd get sick, and I didn't want to have to call my mom and all that. And she was the one that gave me the hardest time in high school, saying, "You never want to come here. You never want to sleep over. You never." And when she got it and started asking me questions about it, we started talking about anxieties and stress and stuff like that. And I mentioned, I was like, just so you know, like, I've had this my whole life, and you were the one. I told her, I was like, you're the one that really messed me up in high school, making me feel like bad. And she like profusely apologized. She goes, I understand exactly what you're going through now.
That's wild.
Because I mean, yeah, you have the older you get, though, it's better to get. I think personally, it's probably the better that you get it when you're older, because you don't understand how many people have stomach issues until you bring something up.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, you know, and the other thing is you're talking about just being at home and being a recluse. But my sad part is being at home in a flare-up, being a recluse and wearing Depends. That's the worst part.
Oh, I've become like a homebody, not because it's gotten worse since I work from home now, but I think my whole life I've just been like that, and I've canceled things. I've not gotten on flights for vacation, refused to go, and like have been out $500 twice in my life, and I did not give two shits about it because I'm like, I'm not getting on that plane.
This is nowhere near as like that at all. But I have this thing, like when I travel, like, because I'm pretty normal. If we're talking bathroom here, like I'm pretty normal, like once a day, whatever. But when I go travel, it's like my body knows it's not in its safe restroom, you know, and so it's like, no, that's not gonna happen. And so like the first couple of days of a trip kind of suck for me, but
well, it's a new environment for you, and you don't think that you're stressed or you're in an anxiety, but you're not. You're out of your comfort, so it's like behind the scenes stressors that you don't realize you're stressed about.
Listen,
and that's what I've learned. I've learned like over the years of therapy and Google that's what I needed to change in my mind.
And it's fixing to be Reddit too, because I'm sending you this support group link.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to get on Reddit, because everything I read on Reddit is about like reality TV stars and how they bath them.
No, there's a specific Crohn's group, and I'm telling you, there's
a
cool
group for everything.
But here's the other thing too, like, you know, like normal, it'd be like 1 or 2 times a day, but Tori would probably be able to, resonate with this. Like in a flare up, like Tori, I don't know if you relate to this, but 9 to 12 times. 12 times I think was the height of a day, like using the restroom. It's terrible.
Wow. Oh, when I was on my worst flare up ever when I was younger, I remember like my highest number was either 18 or like 21 times during, and like my doctor was asking, and you have to think, for me, I'm in Milan, so I had to go to Cleveland Clinic. That's like an hour drive. I can't tell you how many times me and Mom have stopped off, and I'm like, I can't make it. But yeah,
just leave me here. I'm out of
just
socks.
Leave me here to die, please. It is crazy, though.
Mom, I'm gonna lay down in front of the car. Just go.
So
just go, please.
So I gotta ask, since you're from Ohio, like I plan to visit Ohio sometime, and I want to go to Cincinnati, and I want to go to Skyline Chili, or the Skyline place. Have you ever had it?
We're about 3 hours away from Cincinnati. Wait, my husband loves it, but that's the one thing that I would never eat because I would my pants.
Is it okay? I know they sell it like in the grocery stores in the cans, right?
Yeah.
Is it as good out of the can as it is if you go to the restaurant?
No, he's shaking his head. No, he said no. It's 10 times better in the restaurant.
All right, because that's like a bucket list thing for me.
Well, you just might want to pass by the Nasty Natty and get your Skyline Chili and scoot on out somewhere else because it's can get a little dicey there.
So tell us how you really feel about Michigan.
Oh God, we hate it. I hate it so much. And the worst part is, like, I have to go there. My largest customer at work, they're based out of Farmington Hills, Michigan, and it's a family-owned business, and they all went to Michigan. The great-great-grandfather played football in Michigan, got drafted in the NFL. Like, every facility, whether I go to their facility in North Carolina, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, it's a Michigan stadium, a picture of it. I can't stand it. Oh, and when Ohio State played Michigan, they're texting me, talking smack. When the national championship, talking smack. I was like, honestly, just God, come get me now, please.
Now, is everybody in Ohio an Ohio State fan, or are they other Ohio college fans?
No, it's all Ohio State.
Yeah, it's literally all Ohio State.
Because here in Texas, Green. You've got like either a TU fan or an A&M fan or a Baylor fan, and you have like your rivalries with each other and all of that. But it's like me being an A&M fan, if Texas is playing for the national championship, they're like, "Don't you want Texas to win?" I'm like, no, literally anybody else. Is it
no, we don't have an in-state rivalry. Yeah. But if you like Bowling Green, I swear. Like, it's only a couple hours here or from here, and if you go to Bowling Green, obviously you cheer for your college you go to, but like at the end of the day, you're raised Ohio State, and there's always these one-offs that are like Michigan fans that just obviously want attention that live here, or you could be like me and marry some like psychopath from Toledo, and that's like a borderline cult up there, and they're like he went to a Catholic high school, and they are like, it's kind of freaky how much of a Notre Dame fan him and his families are, like borderline scary. And so they're big Notre Dame fans. So you either have Michigan, Notre Dame fans, Ohio State fans, but not majority's Ohio State.
Well, being a Notre Dame fan,
we don't want to talk about that.
I was going to say, but being a Notre Dame fan, you kind of agree on the Michigan thing,
that causes a lot of family controversy.
Yeah, because they're not in any they're not in the SEC. They're not in anything.
No,
but I mean, there's a common enemy there, right? Isn't Michigan like a rival with them or something?
Used to be.
Yeah. Okay.
He said. I just, the only time I ever we went to the Ohio State Notre Dame game this year. Is first time in years that they've played it. We paid like double our mortgage to go. It's so stupid. And Ohio State ended up winning. It was like the best experience of my life.
I agree. College games are stupid expensive.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is for that.
Like I can go to a Cowboy game a lot cheaper than I could to go to a college game.
Yeah, same. We can go to the Browns game dirt cheap.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever going to change.
No, it's not going to ever change.
but that's okay.
Do you have a hockey team? Like, I mean, do you have, like, I know there's Detroit. Columbus, but I mean, Detroit. Okay.
Detroit's 2 hours. Columbus is 2 hours away.
Do you have a preference on either one?
I went to a Detroit Red Wings game I had too much alcohol there, though, so I don't really remember it. I was on a work trip too, but I don't watch hockey as much as my husband. He's kind of ruined sports for me because he like watches any and every sport.
Yeah.
If something's not on,
Yeah.
he'll turn on like a old cornhole tournament. It's like something has to be on the TV. It's so annoying.
What is that?
And
The ACL?
now I guess we're like soccer fans in the house now because I go to soccer on Saturday mornings.
Who's his hockey team? Like, who's his favorite?
Who's your favorite hockey team? He has Red Wings. He has been
Red Wings,
watching hockey though recently.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been watching that. I like hockey. I wish I could get into it more.
Yeah.
I like watching it because I like the fighting.
I think playoff hockey is the best.
Yeah, we've been watching that.
Yeah, the intensity in the game is just up another level.
I don't think I've ever watched a hockey game, ever.
Well, you should look up the what was it? New York and New Jersey. They just got in a big brawl before playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, where the entire line on both teams got ejected. Like there was like 2 seconds into the game and 10 players got ejected.
Yeah,
or got game
like
misconducts.
they dropped the puck and immediately like the gloves went off.
Yeah, that was pretty epic.
Now that's what I like. Now I like watching the fighting like that.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, that's awesome. Well, did you get your dinner made?
Yeah, it's in the air fryer. It'll stay warm in there.
That's awesome. Did you ever expect that you were going to be on the podcast?
No.
Hey, can I tell you?
Did you know that Ryan had a podcast?
I actually haven't said anything we've got a family chat, and I haven't said anything about it.
Well, this is why our listenership is down.
It could be. So, Tori, I've got to tell you something funny. So, I get a text message the other day from our cousin in Alabama. Okay. And
our new cousin?
Our new cousin, yeah, in Alabama.
Wait, before you go on, I just want to let you know you're on Mam's bad list because you haven't called. She can't remember the last time you've called her.
Yeah, I need to call her. I actually tried about a month and a half ago, and it just went to voicemail. But I will try to call her and get in touch with her.
She won't call anybody back, but she will call Bonnie in Alabama back. I don't get that.
Well, listen, I have to give her a call. So we might call her on the podcast next time, but I'll call her on my way home tonight, maybe. Yeah. Well, I don't want it to be too late.
Have him guess where she's.
No doubt. That will throw him off because, like, she's got a mixture of it. Like, it's kind of, a little bit of both. You can hear.
It's like Southern hillbilly.
Yes, and yes. So, Bonnie sent me a text message the other day, and she was like, "Hey, I'm dying laughing here. I had no idea." And I'm like, "Okay, and I'm just reading these strings of text messages." And she said something to the effect of like, she was answering all these questions about things that we had talked about on our podcast. Okay. Now, Tori, the funny thing is I did a marketing stint on our podcast first, and Will did a second one. But I did the first one, and I hope I'm not offending anybody that's listening to the podcast. It was in our first marketing campaign, but I started looking, I was like, oh no. It's like, Will, I don't know if we're marketing to the right people. I have to tell you more later, Tori, because I don't want to.
This may not be the demographic we were expecting.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so then Will ran.
Not to mention, like, daily, we got these Facebook admin alert, copyright issues. We're going to delete your account. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
And so anyway, we started going on, and Will did a second campaign. And in that second campaign, he did a campaign for people to interact with the post. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Bonnie was sitting on Facebook, and she's probably going to hear this in a little bit because she does listen to the podcast now. But she was like, I'm making wreaths right now, and I'm listening to your podcast. I had no idea it came across my Facebook. And she was one of the people that the advertising reached. It was awesome. It was awesome.
I have to listen to it because I listen to podcasts literally all day at work. Like,
I'll send you this. You'll love it.
Just kind of just get through episode 1. It's a little slow. I need to go back and cut it some a little bit, but episode 2 and beyond is actually pretty good.
But that's what we kind of do. We just sit and have conversations like this and stuff like that. You've been a perfect guest. I'm blessed to have answered the phone.
You had no idea that you were going to be on here.
You totally thought we were just going to talk about Crohn's here tonight.
I love it.
Hey, we need to email you a waiver to don't hold us responsible
for anything that's said or done. So, okay. So Tori, I'm going to ask you this, what do you feel like, we talked a lot about doing pranks, and all the pranks that I used to pull on Opal and even, a couple on your ma'am. But what was your favorite family time that we've had together?
Our favorite family time. Well, this sounds a little bit dark, but
Uh-oh.
I would say you were there for Opal's funeral, weren't you?
Yes.
I don't know why, but that's like a core adult memory for me. Like all of us being there, because we did not all see each other since we were little. Even Megan being there, we all did not see each other since before you moved to Texas. I bet we were not all together.
Yeah.
I loved it.
No, that was a good time. But the thing about it is too, I've always felt like we all can just leave off without a beat and just jump right back in.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was a core memory. We played cornhole. I was terrible.
At the funeral?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the cemetery.
Traditional funeral. It was a nice funeral. It just wasn't your traditional funeral. But we all. It was a good. It was
us.
I don't want to say it was a good time, but it was a nice reunion.
It would have been something like we didn't do a true funeral and stuff. She donated her body and got cremated. Is what my Aunt Opal did.
Yeah.
And so we tried. Well, Jimmy tried to get a hold of the preacher that my granny went to church with and stuff like that for him to come and preach and say some words at this memorial service. And I think he wasn't able to, or Jimmy couldn't get a hold of him. And so we had a dinner where we all just we each cooked our own things and brought it out and set up cornhole. And that's one thing that we've always done as a family. Even, coming up there and seeing you all, I mean, there's always opportunities to get on the porch and sit outside and just chit chat. Always done that. And so we got out there, played cornhole, partook in some, family fun. And then we had the little service deal, and Jimmy, her son, ended up getting up there to speak. And I don't know. I felt like it was perfect. It was us.
I thought if you knew Aunt Opal, it would have been exactly how she would have wanted something like that too.
Oh yeah.
And actually, speaking of her, I was talking about this the other day. If you want to know what my favorite memory ever with Aunt Opal is,
hit it.
When Pap died, so when my grandpa died, I was like a freshman, maybe 8th grade freshman in high school, and her, Aunt June, Jimmy maybe, and maybe Big Jim, I don't know. They flew here for the funeral.
Yeah.
And Aunt Opal came in and she's like, I brought you a souvenir. I'm like, okay, what'd you get? And she took the puke bag from the back of the airplane, the back of the seat. And she's like, I brought you the puke bag from the airplane. It says American Airlines on it.
Not even
and I just look at my mom, and mom's looking at me with a smile, Tori smile. And I'm like, thank you.
Not even a bag of pretzels or peanuts.
That probably went to my brother because he's the golden child, honestly. So I got the puke bag.
Well, she always wants to give people things when you're around her. And my most iconic gift there towards the end was she had just gotten out at the NHC, which is the healthcare rehab facility in Tennessee, and she took their the material, the napkins, but they weren't paper napkins; they were the cloth napkins, and they were embroidered. And she got 6 of those. And then she also had hospital sanitary wipes or whatever. And that was the last gift that she gave me, was those napkins in the hospital, wipes or whatever.
Have y'all ever done that thing where that trend on TikTok where you take things from their house and you wrap it up and give it to them?
I want to do that to my grandmother because my grandmother has trinkets all over the place.
Or they do it at Christmas and they're all opening gifts and they're like, oh my gosh, and the grandmother's always looking.
I have that same thing.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do that to Granny, and I also want to do it to Aunt Bet.
Yeah, ma'am would. Oh, she would think it's so funny. It would take her a hot minute.
Yeah. You know what else I'd like to do to Granny and to Aunt Bet? Like
What?
we'd have to do 2 separate trips and stuff like that. But I want to do that the cousin challenge where you like get all the cousins together and go to somebody's house and say, hey, we're staying the night.
Oh yes, and then
As
actually,
adults.
wait, it's funny you say that. It's funny you say that because like on Saturday or Sunday, I'm sitting here and I was like
Yeah.
watching a TikTok where these people, these adults, they did it to their grandparents and they're like, "Hey, we're staying the night." You had their pillows, and Craig looks over. I was sobbing my eyes out.
Yeah.
I'm like, "This is the cutest thing." Like,
We
their
need to do that,
reaction.
Tori. Like it's got to be a thing.
Yeah, we should. Well, you know when we should do it? If I should try to talk are you going down for Aunt June's birthday?
I'll be down. I'm leaving the 21st of June. And
Because Ma'am just said she wants to. She just mentioned when I was at her house the other day. She's like, I hope I can get somebody to take me down there. I should talk to Mom, and we should make a trip down there this summer. Because Craig still needs to go down there. He's never been down there.
Craig needs to see Granny, you know?
Is this the trip that you're going to get our new keychains?
Yes, new keychains,
with the correct QR code?
Yeah, I went down last time in Tennessee in artistic icing. Mangelica Arkland, you know, my sister helped us make some keychains. And so anyway, I made the wrong QR code. It deactivated. And then so all those keychains that we made don't work.
I can't.
So anyway, but yeah, I'm flying in the 21st and I'm leaving the 7th. And so we're actually going to the beach that second week again or whatever, but I'll be down there Granny's birthday.
Hey, don't be surprised if I want to crash a beach trip one of these times.
Oh.
I have like stupid amount of vacation I got to use by the end of the year. Craig
Use it.
not so much.
Listen, I'm not kidding. Like, I think there might be a little bit extra room in this house. You know, I'll have to ask. But we're going to North Captiva Island. It's like you have to park in
Are you
Florida.
going to Florida?
Yeah, it's in Florida, but you have to take a ferry, and you can't take your vehicle.
You know what? Actually, I looked at that because Craig and I just got back. We went to 30A in Florida in the Panhandle.
Yeah.
And it was real nice.
Well, check this out because, I mean, it looks pretty cool. It'd be cool to go on a family trip and stuff. We were actually talking about that the other day. We wanted to go back to Fripp, but Fripp was it's too expensive.
I feel like you're making up these town names.
No. Fripp is right off of Hilton Head. Tori's been down to Hilton Head.
What was the other place you just said?
North Captiva Island.
Captiva, yeah. It just sounds made up.
So anyway,
Captiva. Well, wait, I have to ask this question. It's a little squirrel moment, but Will, where are you from? Because you don't sound Southern.
He's from the Midwest.
Are you talking about me or Ryan?
Tori knows exactly where I'm at.
I am. That's actually a compliment. That do I sound Texan?
No, I mean I've heard you say y'all a couple of times, but that's the extent.
No, I'm actually from East Texas.
You are?
Yep.
Tori.
If you listen to the intro of our podcast, especially episode 1, you can hear my Texan accent. And I didn't mean to at all. And I'm listening to it and I'm like, oh my God, that's terrible.
Tori, you being from Ohio, you will be able to guess the name. You just think about things in Ohio, okay? You'll be able to guess the name of his high school mascot.
Buckeye?
Yep.
Love it. We can already be friends, I can tell.
In fact, I don't know I don't know how true it is or anything like that, but to my knowledge, the only Buckeyes are Ohio State in my hometown.
You know what?
We don't have any Buckeye. Are they? I don't even know if they're a tree or a bush. Are they a bush?
No, it's a nut.
It's a nut.
Well, I know what it is, but I mean, does it come from? Okay, yeah. So we don't have any of those trees anywhere around here.
No, we don't. I mean, I guess every once in a blue moon I'll see one, but we don't really either.
I'm not gonna lie. I always thought it was a candy.
Well, it is. They make that like peanut butter.
Oh yeah, no, those. We have those all the time.
Yeah.
Well, so you're either like Midland, Texas, Lubbock, or like way east then.
Oh no, Midland and Lubbock. That's way west.
The other side.
That's the other side. So I'm over near. We're over near. Like Louisiana almost.
Yeah.
Like we're halfway between Dallas and Louisiana.
Wait, so how close are you to Houston?
3 hours.
I was going to say 4, but yeah. Depends on how fast you drive.
Before I get off the phone here, let me give my 2 cents on Houston real quick.
Give us a Houston review, 1-bite review. First off, before you give us your details,
I don't want to lose any viewership, so I'm going to keep my mouth closed.
Give us a 1-bite review out of 1 through 10. Okay, what would you give Houston a score? Now, if it's an even number, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's a rookie score. So give us your 1-bite review of Houston.
Oh, trust me, I'm I watch Dave Portnoy enough where I give my point.
Yes.
My flop test with my pizza bite challenge. I give my point review.
No rookie score here.
I would give Houston, Texas a 6.8, and it is literally only that high because I stay at the same hotel every time.
What hotel?
Right outside right outside of the airport. It's a DoubleTree.
Yeah.
And I'm there often for work, and the bartender knows me by name, knows my drink, and knows what I want to eat every time I'm there.
Okay, well that's like a base score of 4, so that no wonder it's 6.8. Yeah.
But I'll tell you why I don't like Houston. I've been to Dallas, I've been to San Antonio, I've been to Lubbock. Lubbock is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
I've been to Waco.
Her brother
I'm mad that I've been to Waco.
It's pronounced Waco.
Seriously?
No,
it's not.
do not listen to him.
But I'm kind of disappointed I learned about like the whole cult thing at Waco after I left, because I would have been like super into that. Love Dallas because of the JFK thing.
Yeah.
San Antonio, I had a better experience a couple months ago because last time I was there it was dead middle of summer and I just wanted to die and melt on the street.
Did you go to Shiloh's like I told you or no?
Yes.
What'd you think?
We did, not for breakfast though. We had it for lunch.
Was it good? Did you like it? I love it.
Yeah, I went the last time I was there. The guy I was with for work, we were there for an AI conference, a digital sales conference, and we went there for lunch. It was really good, actually.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. Okay, so Houston.
There's also a lot of things in San Antonio away from the Riverwalk that are worth the walk or whatever.
The first time I went, I told everybody I would never go back like for vacation, but the second time I had a better experience.
Yeah.
And it was very pretty and nice, and like I wouldn't be opposed to ever like going back like on my own time.
Yeah.
But Houston, we have a facility there. I go there often for work. I go in and I get out as soon as possible. When you think of Texas, when normal people think of Texas, I try to make them not think of Houston, because it is not like Texas. It's not like Dallas. It's not like, I'm sure, where you guys are from.
Yeah, it feels like to me like a real big city. I mean, it is a big city.
It's a big city.
It's huge with all the other communities that are in it.
I hate the commuting there. I do not enjoy going to Houston.
The humidity is the worst than it is
Humidity's
here in
terrible.
Texas. Like, we complain about it here, and it's terrible down there.
I know. I'm scared because I don't like heat, and very like hot when it's hot.
Hey, heat's a stressor for us. Have you noticed that brings on symptoms?
Oh God, yeah. Definitely. Yes.
I personally, I haven't been to Houston enough to really give it to actually like visit the city. You know? It's always been with other things, whatever. And so my score wouldn't be a 6.8. It'd be probably like a 4.3. But again,
I will tell you though, the Houston people, the locals, that's been there, very nice. The people I work with, the nicest ever.
You're going to find that, I think, all over Texas.
I've heard the Houston Rodeo is a blast to go to.
I'm so mad. The last time I was there, I didn't have enough time, but it was going on the last time. It was just a month or so
you need to go check that out if it's going on while you're there. That's a big thing.
The reason why I like Dallas better than Houston, first of all, it's closer. All my sports teams are there. But there's a lot of places in Dallas that I like to go, little neighborhoods. Yeah. The problem with Dallas is that it's not like you can't walk from one neighborhood to the next.
No, you've got an Uber or something. You got Deep Ellum on Bishop Arts. You like going to there?
Bishop Arts, Lower Greenville Avenue.
Yeah.
Like when this last time I was in Houston, so the people I work with, some of them are like most of them are in their 20s. So her and her boyfriend moved downtown, and once you travel a lot for work, you just want to go after work. You just want to go back to the hotel. Like, I used to explore every town I went into, but then after a while, you're just like, I'm just waiting for this to be over with. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, you know what? I will go downtown. We're going to have dinner, have some drinks. And, I'll go down for the night and drive back to my hotel. We're at this cute little, first off, talk about anxiety, like white knuckling downtown because people are like walking in the middle of the street screaming. There's some transit system down there. So I finally find my way to her little condo, and we go right outside of it to go eat. And it's like kind of like caged in, so nobody from the sidewalk can kind of get into where the outside sitting is. Yeah. Whole time we're sitting there, this like homeless guy sitting there. He's yelling, screaming, and they're just like they are so used to it. And I'm like, is anybody like recognizing this? And they're like, yeah, I mean, just don't look at him. I'm like, okay.
Did you ask him his name?
Oh, hell hell no. I was not making eye contact. I was already scared myself thinking about how are we going to get out of here if he's still there. Cause
if you had to guess his name, what would you say his name was?
Rodney.
Rodney. It wasn't a basketball player Rodney, was it?
No, it definitely was not that guy. And then, that happened the first day when I was there. And this was all just in my last trip when I was there.
Yeah.
The second day, I leave my hotel room. I go out to the rental car. It's 7 a.m. Driving to work, plug my phone in, get directions in. There's a bus stop outside of work or outside of the hotel. And I see a man drop his pants and is defecating on the sidewalk. So I'm like, all right, that's a great way to start your Thursday morning. And then when I got back, I go to the hotel bar, get a Michelob Ultra, get my food, and I asked the bartender that I know. I said, "Hey, I've always noticed the Houston cops come in here. Houston PD is always in there because the restaurant's actually well known. Like locals actually go there even though it's a hotel." I was like, "Do they just come eat here just because it's like good, or what's the deal?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Well, we feed them for free." I'm like, "Well, that's really nice."
Yeah.
And she's like, and they needed to make an appearance in this specific area because people were stealing radiators out of cars, and there's been a couple murders in this area. I'm like, awesome. I'm like, I come from a town of 1,400 people. Great. This is why I don't leave Milan often.
Okay, so listen. So Tori's town, Milan, is a beautiful town. Number one. Okay, and it's very
birthplace of Thomas Edison.
Yes, the birthplace of Thomas Edison. Okay. And Tori, that bed and breakfast that I stayed at, I'm going to exclude other people.
Very bright town.
By the way, too, if you ever want to come to Tyler, I'll cook you a great dinner in a crock pot. Okay.
So, do you have a crock pot?
I did. Bonnie.
I'm honestly scared to own one, even if I buy it myself.
Bonnie bought me one. She sent it in the mail.
Oh, that's right. You got it. But I still don't know why you didn't have one.
Speaking, well, that's a long story.
That's another podcast.
That's another podcast episode. Tori did get to meet this person though. I went to Milan. Okay. Been there a few times. I love the place. Okay. And so, one night, we get into I was actually staying with you at your apartment. And on this trip in particular, it was the time before. And so the melon festival was going on there, and it's cantaloupe and watermelons. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And so it's a very fun festival. Okay. And so, but they had the downtown area blocked off. All right. So, Tori had let me know that she was going to be at Wonder Bar, because there's the bar in town is a Wonder Bar, and they've also got a bar, I think, at Jim's Pizza Box, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it look like Wonder Bread?
It's
no,
okay. No, not at all. So anyway, I'm walking, and there's Tori, I'm under exaggerating this, but there's like 2 cops in the town or whatever.
Okay.
And so
there's one.
So I'm walking.
Is there a red light?
One.
Yeah, one.
Okay, wow, that's more than Winona.
I'm walking from Tori's apartment to the Wonder Bar, because I was just going to go by and say hi to Tori. I couldn't get in because they actually had like wristbands that you have to get in during this melon festival or whatever, because the town's pretty busy during that time. So
that's the beer. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so I'm walking, and there's the one cop. Pat Fox? We call him Fat Pox too.
Fat Pox. Yeah.
Yeah. And so anyway, I was walking down, and he's like, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm looking for my cousin." He's like, "Who's your cousin?" It's like, "Tori Riddle." "Oh, she's at the Wonder Bar." So Pat
Wait,
Fox.
that wasn't for my wedding. That was when you
that
came
was the
for
trip before.
Tyler's.
Yes, yeah, for Tyler's wedding.
And the funny part about that is, so my brother and his wife, they both were married when they were younger, and so this was both of their second weddings, and they asked me.
She officiated. And it was great.
And I lived right uptown. Like I was in my prime. I was in my 20s in my prime, and I remember my mom texted me the night before the wedding, and so it was Friday or Saturday night, the best night of Melonfest. And she was like, "You better be in your bed by 11 p.m. And then she was texting me. I didn't get home until 3 a.m.
I was in bed.
And the wedding was at 11 a.m. And I showed up maybe like half hour beforehand, and they just think I'm just gonna bomb this wedding. They think that, she's had too many beveraginos the night before. Like she's just gonna ruin the day. Mom's mad when I roll in, and I'm looking good. I'm feeling not well, but I can push through it. I literally had everybody sobbing. Like, and
She
everybody
did.
afterwards, my mom's like, "You did such a great job." I was like, "Yeah, so can you say you're sorry now, Trudy, or what?"
Tori,
Because I did good.
do you remember how I woke you up that one morning?
Wait, didn't you come into my apartment?
No, I was staying with you, but, that with your apartment. But no, I was playing cat noises under your door.
Oh, yeah. I know. And I actually think I remember like thinking like, oh my God, I left the window or door open.
Her
I do
dog
remember
was,
that.
You don't have a cat?
her dog was going nuts. And she was like, she was yelling at him, "Stevie, quit barking." And then I'm going to clean it up a little bit for the podcast. But she was like, "Wait a minute. Is that a cat?"
Yeah. And I think I like weirdly, I don't know why, but I think I locked myself in my bedroom that night.
You did.
I think I just left the door unlocked, and I was like, if anybody needs to stay, but I didn't want anybody like trying to wake me up in the middle of the night or something like that. So I like locked myself in my bedroom.
She told me, she was like, "Ryan, I'm not getting up right now." She was like, "Just go to mom's and eat breakfast and come back and pick me up."
Yeah, I need to rest.
Yeah, it was fun.
No, it is a good time though. That is definitely a good weekend for sure.
Well, do you know? I guess I need to come to Ohio. I guess solo dolo, because the last 2 times I've had different people.
Well, you can bring Will to have the full experience too.
It'll have to be during Melon Festival.
When we get back, I'm going to take your crock pot.
Sounds good.
Yeah. You can have whatever.
You talked about your experience in Houston and seeing somebody defecate on the sidewalk. I mean, we kind of had that in Chicago too when we were there.
Oh yeah, I go to Chicago for work too. I don't like it there.
I was going to say there was a time in San Antonio, one of our music conventions, and
this was in December, Tori.
No, this is a music convention.
Oh,
in San Antonio.
Oh, San Antonio. I thought you were talking about Chicago.
And I had a student with me because he'd made the all-state group. And I'm walking him from the hotel over to the convention center to get registered, and they're remodeling the part of the River Center Mall where Dave and Buster's is. That part they had. They had construction fence around that sidewalk there, kind of half the sidewalk or whatever. And the homeless population there it's quite a bit, but there was a guy standing up against the fence and he was facing it. And I was like, that's kind of odd. And you know how construction fences are. Sometimes they've got like that covering across the fence so you can't see in or whatever. But there was as we were walking by the fence, we were kind of perpendicular to him, and there was nothing along that fence, so you could clearly see back there. And I thought, oh my God, there's a water leak. And then I realized, oh no, that guy's just peeing through the fence.
Jeez.
Oh my God. And you had a student with you?
Yeah, I had a student with me. I'm like, all right, let's just keep moving. Walk faster.
Keep moving. Don't make eye contact.
Don't look over there. Yeah, please don't.
Well, we were.
Yeah, I guess I would give it like Houston gives me a little bit of a larger version of a Chicago vibe. The one thing I think,
but I did like Chicago when I went though.
Yeah, but we've been once.
I think I go during I go during for work, so I don't go into like the touristy places. I go in the outskirts, which probably aren't always the best places. But like I think the one thing that gave me a bad taste in my mouth about Human, it's not the people, it's not it. The one time I did want to explore, I got off work, and if I wanted to go to like it was some store I wanted to go to, it was 50 minutes, and I'm in the same city. It was going to take me 50 minutes to get there.
If traffic was moving.
Yeah, and the beltways give me, I feel like I'm literally driving to like heaven. I literally, those scare me too. And then of course this is
it's the speed limit's 7,000 miles an hour.
Well, and then you have the big trucks that these guys that are like probably like 5 foot tall drive, and they just like, if they don't want to drive on the pavement or like if somebody's going too slow, they just dip out into the grass. Yeah, and they'll get off. And the first time I saw that, I'm like, where am I?
Well, I mean,
Texas.
It's like yesterday when I left the school, I was meeting somebody downtown, and it's only 5 miles probably, and it took me 25 to get there.
Yeah.
Oh,
people do. They drive crazy down here, and I'm not kidding. Like it is wild. Like if you start slowing down, or even what drives me nuts is if there's a wreck or something. I can't stand when you're stopped and people just start driving down the shoulder. And I'm like, wait like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Like have some courtesy.
I think that's like a Texas thing though, like because you guys just drive wild.
There kind of is, and I was going to say, we were talking about pet peeves in the last episode, I think it was, and I forgot to bring up traffic, like people that do stuff like that. Like I understand scientifically, it's better to wait until the last minute to merge over, but when there's a whole solid line, like don't be that dude.
Don't be that guy.
I mean, we're all
in this together.
We're all trying to make it better. It may not be better.
We're in this together.
Yeah, and so I get mad when people wait till the last second to do that. I get mad when people are driving in the left lane and they're not at least going the speed limit. Yeah, like
and I even get mad too. Like when I'm going in for a upper GI or a colonoscopy, and I've got people trying to cut past me while I'm running into somebody that's 80 years old trying to cut in front of me to go sign up for my colonoscopy. You got to sign in. Tori, do you know what I'm feeling with that? Because most of those people are like 75 and 80.
Well, and they think none of the rules like apply to them.
No,
my man is like that.
It's like get in line.
Hey,
we were just talking. Actually, this is a little TMI. You're probably gonna cut this one out. But we were at mom and dad's, and we laughed so hard thinking about this. But old people just don't give two craps about anything. No. And the older they get, so like ma'am could see, we could be like walking, or ma'am could be sitting there having a full blown conversation, like looking into your eyes, like into your soul, talking to you, and she'll just rip one and like act like they're like she will not like she'll pretend like it didn't even happen or exist. And my mom will call her out. She'll be like, "What was that?" And she will just keep talking like we were like
an Alabama bullfrog.
Bullfrog.
We were laughing so hard we all had tears when we were talking about this, because Mom, Dad, Craig, we all knew what we were like. I brought it up, and we're like, we've all had that experience, and we're like, they just don't care. And same thing, they're like, oh well, I've done my time on this earth. I'm 90 years old. I'm gonna cut in front of you. Who cares?
Let me ask you this question, okay? Because you spend more time with ma'am than I do. And I've got kind of the notorious, name of being the golden child in the family. Will it's not by?
You're kidding, right?
I don't. Tori, what do you think?
He chums it up though.
I chum it up bad. When I get around
who's voting on this? You? Is it just you?
Tori can tell you.
Fact.
Like I'll.
It's either between him or my brother.
So have you noticed like Granny? And I love her so much, you know that. But she's gotten more feisty and mean as she's gotten older. Have you noticed that about ma'am?
Yes. Without a question.
Yeah. Gosh.
Yeah. Yes. She's crabby.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that she'll talk about, my favorite thing is though that she'll talk and she like will not believe us that she can't hear.
Uh-huh.
And you'll like the other day, she goes, how's work going? I was like, oh, good. All next week I'll be in Atlanta for work. And then the following week I'll be in Houston all week for a sales meeting for work. And and then versus her, like, I know she probably didn't hear me, because then the next thing she'll say, she'll be like, well, I called Bonnie, like doesn't respond to what I said. And then I'm like, wait, what's happening here?
Well, see, Granny, her memory's getting bad. And so she'll like loop, and she'll sundown at night. And I mean, we'll be talking about something, and she'll be like, well, how's your mom doing? And we'll talk about it for a minute. Well, how's Megan doing? And we'll talk for a minute. Well, how's your mom doing? Is she doing okay? And I'm like, and I go with it. And I know Angel probably has to deal with way more than I do, and stuff like that. But, I'm sitting there and I'll talk to her. And so when I call her on the phone, one of the things that I've started doing is I'll start naming off neighbors that have died. So I'm like, hey, Granny, because I want to see how bad, like how far it goes back. And I'm like,
terrible.
Granny, how's Miss Sanders doing? And just stop for a minute. Ron, why are you trying to test me? She's been dead a long time. So, Tori, I don't know if you know this or not, but Minnie died the other day. And
oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she died like 4 or 5 days ago. So I asked Granny the other day, and Angela told her about it. I said, how's Minnie doing? And she said, well, I guess she's like the rest of us are. She says, we're getting older and we don't get out a whole lot. And I'm like, she doesn't even remember.
She doesn't remember she just died.
No, but she was talking to Angel about it too, and I felt bad. But it was one of those deals. So I was talking to her on the phone on speakerphone with Angel, and this is what I was getting to. I said, well, Granny, what are you doing over there? She's like, oh, I'm coming out. I'm over here at Angel's sitting and eating. And she was like, well, they're eating and stuff. And I was just sitting here talking to them. And I said, well, what are you eating with them? And she says, no, I ate earlier. Well, what'd you eat? And she can't remember. And so she got mad and she was like, why do you all keep asking me what I eat all the time, acting like I'm senile or I'm losing my mind or something like that? And I'm like, sorry for asking.
Well, Tori, you know how you're talking. You said you'd talk to her or whatever, and then she just like completely changed the subject without acknowledging anything like that. Maybe it's the I'm trying to like analyze this. I don't know why, because I think I do it sometimes too, and I'm not old. Well, not that old, but like if we're talking and I ask you something, I'm like, cool, and then something comes up in my mind that I also want to ask. I don't hear a word you're saying until you're done talking, and then I ask my question, and it may be completely.
She might be like that, but I know her not hearing either plays a factor. But she might be like that too, because there's things that she, like Bonnie, our cousin Bonnie, that we just all met.
Bonnie, by the way, we love you.
That is like, we love her. That's like the highlight of like Mam's last couple years, because it's like just
it's a connection to her brother. Yeah,
and to talk about a favorite is Bonnie is like the favorite because Mam does not call anybody back.
She'll call Bonnie back. Bonnie, you're more special than all of us.
Yeah, you could leave her a voicemail and she won't call you back. She'll say, well, you can call me, but she'll call Bonnie back, which is good because but it gives her, she likes to talk to her and stuff like that. But yeah, they do get old and crotchety the older they get.
Well, Will has, on the way back from trips and stuff like that, has had the pleasure of hearing my conversations with Angel and with Granny, and he got, I think, a taste of how we all interact, as a family with everybody. Because
Ryan used to play me the recorded prank calls that he would send. Here and Granny, and I was like, I cannot believe that you do this.
Oh, it's hilarious.
We all do it. But we all do it in our own way.
Yeah.
I would say that like Ryan's obviously the favorite, like for sure, without like a landslide. And then like my brother's right there too. He can do no wrong. Like he's literally God compared to like anybody. Like I'm definitely the second favorite, which is fine. I live up to the name. But then there's like me and Angel that like say what's on our mind, are pretty straightforward, don't beat around the bush, and so then we're for sure like the second.
But see, the thing about it is, you're right. I just I brown nose my way through the conversations and schmooze. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. And we all just sit there and cackle at you because we're like, oh, here he goes again.
Just keep the old women busy. That's what I do.
Yeah. Gives them something to do. And you have to tell, this is probably going to have to get cut too, but you have to tell Will about Karen
and Tracy.
Remember when Karen was like, we thought she was like on bath salts and was like a cannibal?
Bath salts.
Yes. So it's my granny's neighbor. And so she...
Mike and Karen.
Every time I do talk to Granny, I ask her if she's eaten Mike yet or killed him. Karen got dementia or something like that, and she was off.
No, she got like an infection or something. Something started like eating. This was like a normal woman.
You're right. It was what is that? Meningitis.
Yeah, she got meningitis, and I think when Aunt Opal died. So every time we're down there, Mike always smokes some type of meat because he makes very good sauces. And so that's like his thing. If he knows somebody's coming, like if we're coming down, he'll have it like all ready. And when Aunt Opal died, we all were coming, and he's like, I still want to smoke this meat. And I remember him like saying like, oh, come over and get it. And he just was telling us prior though, like a couple days prior, he's like, Karen just is not herself anymore. And like we went over, and I'm like, I'm not going in their house, dude. Like I'm not going in. And she just looked wacky. And and that was when bath salts were like, there's
it was like a zombie thing. Like people thought it was a zombie apocalypse. Yes. Yeah.
But no,
you had like you had like a Florida
now,
person or a bunch of Florida people that were like, "There's a zombie epidemic."
Yeah,
no, it's actually bath salts.
Yeah, and so whatever was like eating at her brain, that's what like, you saw, and that's when you would see all the videos on social media about how people were acting. That's how she kind of was. And I was so scared. And everyone's like, my mom's like,
Is
she's fine. I'm like, you don't know
You
that.
don't know what's going on
is
right now.
because I don't know all this. Is bath salts, is that Epsom salt?
I have no idea.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think so. I have no idea.
I
though.
always think of like the bath bomb things, like people eating those or something.
I have no idea. I don't know what
I
it is.
don't know. I don't know what they. I just remember
Personally,
like
I've
it
never
was
tried
like,
them.
No, I
Yeah,
hadn't
me
either.
either.
And I don't want to say like
plan
I
on
want to know, but I was just curious. I just thought a thought popped in my head right now. I didn't hear
I don't know if it
anything
was
y'all
like a-
said. I just thought
Yeah.
bath salts and what is it? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know if it was like legit like bath salts or if it was like a street name for something else, but
Yeah.
I do remember, like you said, in Florida, there was a whole bunch of like videos and stuff on how people were on them and the way they acted, and I'm like, oh my God, and it just scared me. I mean, I think she's normal now. I don't know.
There's actually an advertisement for the next season of The Walking Dead.
Tori, and I've got to apologize this too, because talking about you being scared, like I feel really bad when we were kids and Tyler and I were riding bikes in the cemetery and you were with us and we took off and pretended like there was that person.
Yeah. That's a
we
core memory in my brain too. And there's a thing over here in the cemetery. Like I live in my grandma's house now. I bought her house, and I'm literally staring out the front window on my couch right now, and it's the cemetery.
Mm-mm.
And there's a thing there called Abbott's Cave, and there's like if you go down and look into the window, you're gonna see a rocking chair, and supposedly it's a ghost of a woman who lost her baby, and it's rocking back and forth, and you'll hear all this. As a kid, they would just ditch me in the cemetery and then just like go, and my little legs like couldn't keep up. I seriously remember that like it was yesterday.
Yeah,
And
sorry for the trauma.
Tyler would do it with his friends too. Yeah, you guys suck. That's why I'm such a chicken today.
Yeah, but I still love you.
Yeah.
Well, Tori, listen, we one of the questions that we ask, we'll ask you this real quick too. I'm sure you're going to be another guest on this because this has gone really, really well. I'm so glad you called back.
You're our
the podcast.
You're our first call-in guest.
You're our first call in, which has been fantastic. So, what is your?
I can talk.
I think our whole family's gifted with that for some reason.
Yeah.
Especially the back porch sitting thing. So, hey, what does your Sunday afternoon look like? So, like when you're relaxing and it's a peaceful Sunday afternoon, what does your Sunday afternoon consist of?
Well, that's usually our like a wind down day. But in the summer and stuff like that, funny you say it, we go to mom and dad's and we sit on the porch.
Yeah.
And we'll eat burgers and sit there and watch the traffic go by. Everyone waves. In the summer, I'm actually really excited because that is what our low key Sundays look like.
Yeah.
Mom tries to do like family dinners and stuff, and we'll just sit over there. Rosters that live next door to mom and dad that I grew up with, they're like second family. They come over, the neighbors across the street come over, and the whole Edison Drive will be sitting on the porch.
Yeah.
Talking.
What's the beverage of choice while you're sitting on the porch talking?
I'm a Michelob Ultra girl or a mom water girl.
Yeah.
One of the two.
A what water? A mod water?
Mom water.
Mom water.
Mom water.
What's mom water?
They're like, during COVID, I drank too many White Claws, so the carbonation, I think I gave myself heartburn. So mom waters are kind of like White Claws without the carbonation.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Now,
it's like a seltzer.
What is your dad and your brother's Sunday afternoon beverage of choice?
Dad, Tyler, Craig, Busch Light.
Busch Latte.
Busch Lattes.
Oh dear.
Yep.
But if ma'am ever comes over, we're all full-blown adults, married. Tyler has kids. We put koozies on so she can't see that we're drinking beer.
Yeah, I was always mortified, about that, her seeing that, being me. But anyway, yeah, that's why I feel like
my grandma's never had a sip of alcohol a day in her life.
No.
She uses a straw.
Granny says she.
I thought that's where it was going. I'm sorry.
Granny says she's never.
I had a Spanish teacher in high school. That's what he'd say. He's like, alcohol has never touched my lips.
Yeah.
I use a straw.
Granny says that too, but she has no idea that we put Bailey's in her coffee every Christmas. She thinks it's some, coffee creamer that they came out with at Walmart.
Oh my God.
So anyway,
she seemed to like it too. Jimmy, that's Jimmy.
That's Jimmy. Jimmy's going to be a guest next week on the episode.
Say, Jimmy, you gotta have Jimmy as a guest.
Yeah, no doubt.
We'll leave that podcast a changed man.
Oh, I'm sure.
Aliens will exist. And so will the Wampus cat and the creek monster.
What else was he fixated on too? He was like what was the witches or something?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
the Blair Witch.
No, not the Blair Witch.
No, it was Blair Witch.
Was it?
At least he used to tell me that when I was younger, and it scared me. But yeah, the Wampus cat. Yeah, that scared me too.
No doubt. Well, listen, we've got a song that
we usually have an intro song for our guests, but we didn't know that you were going to be a guest.
No doubt.
so we're going to give you an outro
song.
And don't worry, you can't hear it until
Tori. You've been on our episode for an hour and 10 minutes. Can you believe that?
It's probably going to be your best view yet.
This is. And I'll send you the podcast after we get off here in a little bit. We're going to probably, get all this rocking and rolling. It'll be up at some point, maybe this Sunday or the next. We got to figure it out. Order of episodes.
Yeah, I need something else to listen to versus my because like I said, I work from home, so I listen to crime documentaries and I scare myself. So I got to switch it up.
Oh, you need to. There's a crime documentary about my hometown.
What? Tell me.
It's the Deviltown podcast, or just look up Deviltown.
Deviltown, yeah.
Yeah.
Gilmer, Texas.
Yeah. Kelly
Have
Wilson.
you ever heard of I'm listening to that then, especially if I know somebody that's like Gilmer, Texas.
Yes. Yeah. So hey, there was
Gilmer. It's not spelled like Happy Gilmore. And I remember when we finally got a Subway in our town, and it was the same time that Happy Gilmore was coming out, and all the advertisements, in Subway were Adam
Happy
Sandler
Gilmore.
or whatever. And all I could think is, they spelled the name of our town wrong. It's ER, not ORE. What is this?
That's awesome.
GILMER, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to extend the podcast a ton because we're at an hour and 10 minutes. But, Tori, I just recently went up to Moscow, Idaho. And, I was up there with
Lord.
Do you know what I'm talking about? The murder that took place up there?
In my next life, I'm going to be a detective. Like, I follow that stuff like crazy. And I scare, like, I cannot watch Dateline without Craig home, or unless if I'm by myself, it has to be light out because I scare myself.
That's awesome.
Did you ever see the movie Bernie with Jack Black?
No.
You'll have to watch it.
You need to watch it because it's based on a true story that happened just over in our neck of the woods, Carthage.
Carthage, Texas.
It's just an hour from here. And anyway, he plays the guy that is.
He was a funeral director.
Still alive.
He is. He was a funeral director and killed. He fell in love with this old woman that owned a bank in Carthage. I think it was Carthage National Bank, actually.
Yeah.
Or Carthage State Bank.
I don't think she was, well, whatever. Anyway,
her husband owned it.
She had a lot of money.
She inherited the bank from her husband because her husband had died. Anyway, he killed her and put her in the fridge and hid her under a frozen bag of peas.
Yeah, and was living in her house and using her money and all that stuff. And people finally started noticing she's not been around. In the
movie, and I don't know if it was truly this or not, but in the movie,
spoiler alert,
it was her financial advisor that finally... said, hey, she's been missing for a long time, and I've been talking to, Bernie quite a bit, but I haven't heard anything from her. Yeah. And the police came out and did a welfare check and found her in the freezer. And
it's basically everybody loved Bernie and hated her.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how this movie does.
They kind of do it. Suspect it with him.
Yeah. And so they take some actual people from Carthage and like are interviewing them in the movie. It's kind of done like a mockumentary kind of, but it's actual people in there. And there's one guy.
Matthew McConaughey in it.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey plays the lawyer. Matthew McConaughey grew up 20 miles down the road from me.
Nice. Oh wait, there's your Texas accent because you said lawyer.
Lawyer. All right. Anyway, but there's a guy in that movie, Bernie. He's one of the actors in it that I was on a stage production with him.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
So then that where he was from, isn't it from where that school shooting was at Uvalde? or something?
No, that's Southwest
south.
Texas. That's
South.
That's over near San Antonio.
Yeah.
And that's about what 5.5, 6 hours for
6
us?
hours. Yeah.
You have to look up the thing. I just saw this because I went to I was in Kentucky for work a couple months ago, and I went through and it's weird because a couple months prior I listened to this podcast and I watched a documentary on it, and it's about Bardstown, and it has to do with like there's like a cop died, a woman died, mom and daughter died, and and then the lady, the daughter or the woman that died, her dad died, and because he was investigating too much, and there's some tie, and there's a bad cop in the town, and they still haven't and so I was driving through it, and it took everything in me, and I just actually a couple weeks ago I was on the phone with somebody from Bardstown, and I just wanted to low key see what she would say. I called her, or it was something for work. And I was like, and I wanted to see what she was going to say. I was like, I've heard of Bardstown before. And I'm waiting for her to say something, because I'm waiting for
she didn't say anything, did
time to shine, to be I know I've seen the podcast or listened to the podcast. She goes, well, they're really well known for their bourbon. Nationwide, we're well known for our bourbon. And
does their bourbon kill people?
I know. I was like, I know what you actually are really for. Murders, unsolved ones.
Call her out. Maybe she was the one you talked to the killer.
All I could think of is a small town. I was like, if I brought this up, no, my luck, she'd be like the person's aunt or something.
No, knowing your luck, she would be the killer, and she'd have you on the radar driving up to Milan, Ohio.
I know. No kidding. Oh, well, God, that'd be funny. Not really.
Well, good deal. Well, Tori, it was so good having you on the podcast.
Did you get your dinner out of the air fryer?
No, it's in there still.
It's still in there?
It's in there still.
Yeah, I didn't hear it pop open.
We might have to reheat that.
So Craig's going to have to be a part of the podcast, too, at some point.
Craig's already 8. He's come home from wrestling practice because he's a coach for wrestling. He's 8, showered. Now he's sitting here playing soccer on
what kind of practice?
Edison Wrestling.
That's not what she said.
He's a wrestling coach.
He's a wrestling coach.
Say it again.
I didn't say wrestling.
I swear I heard wrestling. That's why I was like, what?
If I did, that was my hillbilly coming out then. Because my pap always said wrestling.
We're cut from the same cloth.
Yep, 100%.
Hey, I told Granny the other day, she saw how many pieces of medicine I was taking, and she's like, what are you taking all that for? And I was like, Granny, I'm dying. She's like, shut up. I said, no, I've got it's Crohn's disease and all this other kind of stuff too. She says, what does that work on? And I said, my stomach. And she was like, was it bad? I said, well, it's not fun. She was sitting there. And I said, they said I got it from my paternal grandmother. And she looked at me and she said, you didn't get it from my side of the family. She says, I've always had a good gut.
Yeah, did you ever know that Ma'am had colon cancer?
Yes. I remember Granny talking about it a long time ago. So I'm trying to find the common denominator here,
I know, because nobody, besides you and me, and then Ma'am had colon cancer, but she never had anything ever since. Nobody has any other gut issues.
We better do some investigating. We got to figure this out, because I don't think it's a coincidence.
We should make them all feel bad for us so they leave everything in their will to us.
Hey, I still want to make Cousins shirt, Cousins Cronies or something like that.
Yeah, no
So,
kidding.
hey, no, for real. If you're coming in, I will get online. I'm going to make us shirts.
Sharp buddies.
Where's the hashtag? Where's the closest bathroom?
Yeah, when I go to public settings, most people are scared of an active shooter or something. Mine is where's the closest restroom, please?
Them not having a public bathroom. It's terrible. It's this inner fear that you can't quell. And
I don't go like people party buses are my biggest fear. People love them. Let's go to a concert on party bus. Hell no. There are no restrooms on a party bus. And this girl, you won't catch me
She's
on
not
one.
Going.
Nope. No.
Oh, it's a thing.
I was scared to have one for my wedding. But then I knew that was my day and I was in charge. So if I told them to stop, they would stop.
Yeah.
So that was the way I got past it.
Yeah. Your wedding was awesome. That was a great, great, great opportunity. I don't want to talk too much about the reception.
Oh God, don't get me started. You can tell Will about that off air.
I'll tell him off air. Yeah, that was it was a not. No, listen, everything upstairs was a party. I loved it. It was great.
Downstairs got a little dicey. You might have to go to the restroom. Let's just say Trudy has not spoke to those people since.
I don't think she ever will. Well, listen, we've got a song that we're gonna send you off to here. Okay, you won't be able to hear it, but we're gonna get a marching band to play you out. Guess what marching band it's gonna be?
The Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah, how did you know?
Because
I thought you wanted me.
Best band in the land.
I thought you wanted me to play the other
hit
band.
Hit it. Let's go.
The other band.
No, don't.
Well, if you play the other band, then I'm not signing no waiver.
She already knows what the other band is because we rock out to that song too. Do you know what the other band is?
Rocky Top.
Amen. She knows.
I was talking about Michigan. I was making a joke.
No, we don't talk about that either.
What about Michigan State?
No.
Still as
bad?
bad?
I like Michigan State. I can get down with because Michigan State people hate Michigan.
Gotcha. Okay. You got a common.
So there's a common denominator there. Common enemy.
Yeah. So I can get down with them, but not Michigan.
All right. I'll strike on it. Ready? And 1, 2, ready, go.
There it is. We'd like to welcome the Ohio State marching band here.
Look at them high-stepping.
Look at them. That tuba player's fixing to dot the I here in a minute.
Do you think so?
Yes.
I don't know if this version
Tori,
has that.
have you seen that tuba player dot the I in person?
Yes.
You have. Is that your favorite part of the marching band show?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Well, that's awesome.
Strict Ohio is legendary.
Ouch. Oh. Yikes. His phone timed out.
You should have your band do it in my honor. If I ever make it down for a Friday night football game, you better do something.
I'll take you to see Will's group, stuff like that, and we'll get him to rock it up. Sounds good?
I love it.
All right. Well, hey, Tori, thank you for coming out. You know I love you. We'll talk later, all right?
All right.
Later.
Talk to you later.
All right,
bye.
Well, Will, what did you think about my cousin Tori?
It was unexpected.
But it was a good unexpected.
I feel flattered that I did not.
Marching band, turn down.
They don't want to hear this one. This is like the backup Ohio State song. Isn't it?
It is. Thank y'all for coming out.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.
Careful
see you later.
The porch. I'm surprised our porch is that
Don't
big.
trip. Okay.
We can put a band up there.
Doubt.
Yeah, it was completely unexpected that we're sitting here to record an episode, and we thought we were going to go one way. We were going to have a guest on here.
Yeah.
And they're probably wondering when they're going to get this phone call.
What's going on here? Yeah.
And you got a phone call. I was like, oh my God, Ron. And you answered it. And I was like, okay. And I said, I guess we'll cut this. I'm like, no, we're not.
We're not cutting it. We're going with it. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, good deal.
So that's awesome. Yeah.
So we got this week's episode in. It's it's been a fun week and stuff like that.
Has.
So we'll get rocking and rolling. And
it has. It was nice to get back. I know we took a week off.
Yeah.
A little sabbatical there.
Yeah, but we're getting into it.
Yeah. I don't know why you're about to press that button.
I don't know why I'm about to press any of these buttons.
I don't either.
So, but anyway, have you had a pretty good week? We didn't even talk about that.
No, we didn't. We'll just give the Cliff Notes. I had a good week.
Yeah.
Did you?
Man, it was wonderful.
That's awesome.
It's been very relaxing here. So
yeah,
as the end of another Sunday afternoon porch sitting comes to close, we're glad that you were able to join us for a wonderful, peace and fun-filled evening on the porch.
Until next time, stay relaxed and enjoy the simple moments.